All I had to do is, hey, all I had to do, oh, ooh, all I had to do is, all I had to do is, and believe. I can call him in the morning. And when I call, it does not matter. No, no, Yeshaya. Yeshaya, Yeshaya. He'll take care of me, yeah, yeah. I can call him in the morning. 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 At 2 in the morning. I can call him in the morning. I can call him in the morning. I can call him in the morning.
Come on, who knows that Yeshua will take care of you? Oh, come on, somebody. Who knows that he will take care of every need? He will provide every need. Yes. We ask it in your name, Yeshua. We thank you, Ahaya. We praise your holy name. He's so worthy of the praise. Oh, man, we came to bless the Lord. Who came to bless Ahaya today on this Feast of Purim? Yes. He has indeed set us free.
Praise the higher. Praise the higher. Praise the higher.
Wash me in your blood, in the water of your love. Only you can baptize me. Bring me back to life. Holy Spirit fire, only you can baptize me. Yeah. You're enough for me. You're all I need. Purify me. Only you can purify. You're enough for me. You're all I need. Purify me in the water. Wash in the water. Only you can baptize me. Hey. So bring me back. Holy Spirit fire. Oh, you're enough for me. You're all I need. Oh, yeah, yeah. You're enough for me. I need, yeah, 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 yeah. Praise the higher. Glory, glory. There's a party in heaven and we're joining in. Whoa, whoa. Chains are breaking. Saints are praising. There's a party in heaven and we're joining in. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah. There's a party in heaven and we're joining in. Chains are breaking, yeah. Saints are praising. Woo. Praise the higher. Praise the higher. There's a party in heaven and we're joining in. Chains are breaking. There's a party in heaven and we're joining. Yes, we're joining in. Yeah. We're joining in. We're joining in. breaking, yeah. Saints are praising it, praising higher, yeah, yeah. Join in there, 'cause you're enough for me. You're all that I need, purify. You're enough for me. You're all I need. Purify me in the water. Come get your soul clean. Purified in the water. Only in the water. 'Cause you're enough for me. You're all that I need. Purify me. Only you can purify.
Oh, praise be to the Most High. Let's get the Most High some praise in here. Let's get the Most High some praise in here. Happy Purim here and through the four corners of the earth. All praise be to our God, Ahaya. That's it. In the name of his dear son, Yeshua, we come before you this evening on this beautiful Memorial Day, this Purim, right? We're before you. We have the elders in the house, brothers and sisters. The Most High is in the house. The angels are in the house. They're rejoicing, right? Purim, right? We're going to take this thing all the way to the Passover. Lord, have mercy, right? So I'm going to tell y'all, brothers and sisters, I'm overwhelmed. I'm thrilled to make it to another blessed Purim, to make it to another year, to celebrate with my brothers and sisters, to love one another, and to do what? Give gifts one another, and just remember this day that the Most High delivered this nation from our what? Oppressors, our enemies, our attackers, and all that. Brothers and sisters, without further ado, we have our beautiful elders, our brothers, Elder Rakashiar, Elder Lawyer, here to render us a beautiful message on this Purim, worldwide, here, Philadelphia, and all over. Let us receive our elders with a good round of applause. The Bible says double honors. The elders of the gathering of Christ Church. All praises.
Shalom. Yeah, you can share the podium with me, Elder Lawyer. Shalom, brothers and sisters. You can sit. Give it up for Bishop Amath. Okay, you all are looking royal right now, and I'm seeing these men of the Most High, sisters of the Most High, daughters of the Most High, children of the Most High. I thank you all for your presence. I know it's a bad weather day, and you know, it is a memorial. And we know that the Most High is going to guide us out of here, right? From Babylon and beyond. But I want to make sure that you all are careful tonight on that road on your way home, okay? Because, you know, there was a storm and all of this, and we were contemplating just having people come through, get some food, and doing it from our homes. But for those who would like to gather, I'm glad we made this choice. Thank you, and bless you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well, here it is. Some people ask me questions out there. What is Purim? Is it a Sabbath? No, it isn't a Sabbath. It's a memorial. It's something that the Most High told us to remember each year, showing forth his power to deliver the children of Israel against the distress that was coming from the Persian government. They were looking to depopulate our people there. So no, it isn't a Sabbath, but it is a memorial that we must remember. And if there's a time to give gifts, especially for the brothers and sisters who are fairly new to this, and I know a lot of you have been here for a long time. For those who are fairly new to this, okay, out there in YouTube land, this is the time that we actually give our gifts to one another and the people we care about in close proximity, right? So if the children are missing Christmas, here's a tradition to replace that. And there's what? There's history behind this particular day that we can teach our children also, right? Because unfortunate for us, we don't realize when governments are planning against our people and how they plan. So this gives us an insight, according to the Bible, on how governments seek to destroy our people if we, as a people, deny their idolatry. If we deny or if we refuse to bow the knee to satanic government, they seek to destroy us. But this also shows us on another side that if we stand with Christ, even through adversity, even it doesn't matter what the government is planning, Christ and the Most High will guide us through if we're on the right side with him. And that's what this story is all about. Also, you know, I get emails, I get phone calls, right? Elder, it seems like you're harder on the sisters than the brothers. It just feels like that sometimes. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't feel like that. It's just that you don't really focus on when we're coming down on the brothers or when we're bringing some negative, showing negative within our nation that comes from our brothers. It doesn't feel the same because it doesn't relate. Don't forget, we give a memorial to our sisters in our church, right? We also reverence a sister the Most High told us to reverence every year. So it's nothing wrong with us bringing anything out if brothers are like the brothers that we read of that persevered and did the right things according to God's law. There's not a brother that's going to call in or give an email and say, man, it seems like you're so hard on the brothers. Well, what I'm saying that's affecting you? What are we bringing out that's wrong? The same with the sisters. So since we were going into Eve's burden for the last couple of weeks, and the dynamic between a man and woman, we're going to also give you those dynamics of a great woman in the Bible and show a dynamic to the contrary in the Bible. Because here's the reality of the matter. A lot of people don't want to hear this, okay? Women always had power. There was a time they didn't. And the reason why we've been focusing on this for so long, or highlighting the negatives, especially amongst Israel, when it comes to that, is because what? I don't know, the world don't want to admit it, but we can tell the truth in here. Women always had power, and now we're living in a world in which women are abusing their power. They are abusing their power. And now we, as teachers of the Most High, must put it out there because what? Satan is about to come at our women with everything they have to crush what's left of them. And there'll be no one out there to help. That's what's about to happen. And we're saying, well, listen clearly. It's time to come all the way under the hedge and understand this dynamic. the dynamic of the Sister Esther, because I need y'all to really examine Sister Esther, because she wasn't seeking to be chosen. She was raised under the house of a prophet, Mordecai. Her beauty was resounding. It reverberated. But what was greater than Sister's outward appearance was her humility and love for her God and a passion for her people. And understand, brothers and sisters, that radiated even above her beauty, hence the reason why the king fell in love with her. With her power, wisdom, and beauty, she could have had anything she wanted. And she could have used that beauty for the wrong thing, knowing her power. See? And that's a dynamic that we need to show. Because, yeah, women are powerful. There was never a time on earth women weren't. Now, I'm going to give you all a few examples before I go in, and I'm going to end it in charity. What we can look forward to in this church going forward after this. I'm going to use some examples today and show forth and give what? Full honor to this sister, Esther. I'm going to tell you, listen, and I don't have to say this, women understand their power. All right? Me growing up, and sisters, I know y'all going to laugh on this one. How many times when you were growing up and you knew, because everyone told you how pretty and beautiful you were, and all you had to do was sit on the steps, and the most powerful guy or man in that area was like putty. They sitting there just trying to get you to choose them. Can anybody relate to that up in there? Huh? Where men would chase the strongest man who other men feared were like putty. That's power. If somebody got out of hand with you, the only thing you had to do was let someone know, and it was taken care of. Folks, that's having your own personal mercenary. That's power. So, when I go into this story on Esther today, I need y'all to understand something. You're going to understand today why the Most High chose her to do exactly what she did. And if anyone ever claimed that we don't have no respect for women, refer them back to this video. Because a woman like this is worthy of respect and honor. And you're not going to get upset, okay, about us talking about anyone, a woman or anything that's out there destroying things. You're not going to get upset because you're going to understand with this lesson what an honorable woman is. And that woman would not suggest, we as teachers, that woman would not suggest that we allow this destruction to fester under us before the fall of this world. We have to be straight so that our people have place for repentance, knowing that when it's all over, the devil is going to destroy our people, and the women are going to be out there with no one to help them. I'm telling you this right now. Right now, it's all good because it seems like everything is fine. It seems like everything is fine. But folks, the pendulum is about to swing. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I said it the other day. It seems as if, I don't know whether or not Trump is a man or an entity, but he's definitely not sleeping. Every time I'm looking up 3 in the morning, something else he have done that I didn't see 3 hours back. I can wake up 3, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and turn on things and start looking at like, what's going on here before I come up? Because sometimes I wake up and it's something else Trump came up with that I didn't know happened that same day. U.S. aid being cut, FEMA being cut, all these things being cut, and people are wondering, well, what does that have to do with us and our communities? All of that money he's talking about cutting are tied to the social programs that sustained us at our lowest moments. I'm not ashamed to say, right, that I knew what a book of food stamps looked like. Okay, let me tell you, I didn't see food stamps no different than U.S. money. Okay, if I had 2 books in my back pocket, I was paid. You couldn't tell me food stamps was no different than cash currency. Okay? So I'm not ashamed to say, because our people built this country, I'm not ashamed to say that we were able to benefit from some of the subsidies that would help us and help our parents get on their feet in a time that our people needed it. I thank the Most High for that food that we got through food stamps, that we got, because guess what? I didn't know that we were poor. I didn't know we were poor because my mother and father, they would whip up that food and it was like a king's spread. And everybody else was fed too. Children are pure, they're innocent. They only know that what we have, and they know that what we have is good enough. So when I look back and see that we had housing, we had food stamps, we had these things, I thank the Most High that he sustained us through that low period. But all of that, they attached to everything that our foreparents worked for to sustain us. They attached it to everything that was wrong so that Trump can come and blow it up at the end of it. So you're saying, well, hold up. He's taking away money for trans people. Yeah, and we all are applauding that. But what our shady politicians did, they made sure that the trans money, the trans and LGBT money, was attached to the money that was sustaining our people who were poor. So when you blow that up, it was like, well, listen, so when our politicians came and said, well, listen, we need some recreation money, we need some food money, we need something for the community, for the children to do, and the politicians said, yeah, we'll put federal funds, we'll give federal funds to your state through that, if it includes this, transsexual story time, right? So they can't ask for anything for us unless they attach it to sin or debauchery. And now what's going on? You got it. He's cutting it all. And if he cut the trans, we'll applaud it. But understand, the housing, the money, everything the government gave our people, poof, will be gone. Either we're down with LGBTQ and all that and agree to it. And because we agreed to it, it's getting allowed. Trump is allowed to get rid of everything. And it's not just in America, it's Africa, it's every place. So now we can't sit online stunting like everything is good, like we're living a life because we can take a picture of a food in a restaurant, knowing that our lives really don't reflect what we're showing on the gram or the internet. The reality is going to set in. When when the housing is taken away, the food is taken away, I'm going to tell you, we're going to see a level of homelessness we've never seen. And I'm going to tell you, the doors, we're not going to have room for the people anywhere. So this is why we put these things out and saying, sisters, they've already attacked the brothers for a long time. It's time for y'all to just temper down a little bit and focus on what's being directed against you. You're not built for what's coming. Come on under a hedge. Okay? You don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to say you're sorry. You don't have to worry about what happened in the past. It's time to seek refuge. It's time to seek refuge because the devil is saying, listen, we have no more use for you. Your replacements have been here since we shut down America during the pandemic. And if you didn't die from the stuff, all too bad, because there was no housing left for you from the beginning. We did not foresee you living through this. So there's no housing for you. There's no food for you. All the money will go to the replacements. Now, Elder Lawyer, if you will, I need you to go to John 14:1 first. Now, why am I going here? If we're going into Esther, Purim, we have to also understand the power of a woman. So it's how a woman yields that power, uses that power. It can be for good or it can be for evil. See? Elder Lawyer, if you will.
Yes, sir.
I need you to start here at Matthew 14. Why am I going here? Matthew 14. And the reason I'm going here first is to show you some examples of a woman's power. Right? We're going to go to where John the Baptist was operating real quick. Right? Let me go here. All right, Elder Lawyer, if you will.
Yes, sir.
Let's start at John 14:1.
Yes, sir. Say Matthew 14, verse 1.
Matthew 14:1, yes.
At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of Yeshua, and said unto his servants, This is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. For Herod had laid hold on John and bound him, and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. For John said unto them, It is not lawful for thee to have her.
So John, he was a Levite. He was like, nah, you can't be just dealing with any other woman. It's unlawful for you to have this woman under the Hebrew law. It's wrong. Right? Mm-hmm. Read.
5. And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude, because they counted him as a prophet.
Come on.
But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod.
Look at that. So on Herod's birthday, The daughter of Herodias did a little dance for the king. Now, I'm going to show you how much power a woman could have. She just did a little dance for him. Right? Read.
Whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask.
Lord, I love that dance. Anything you want tonight is yours. So, indirectly, through carnality, she wielded the power of a king. Just with her physical attributes. Now, I'm not saying anything that we all don't know already. Read.
Verse 8. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, Give me here John Baptist's head in a charger.
I heard y'all have that prophet down in the dungeon. If I can have one wish, and believe me, she came to the party knowing what she was going to request. Because of her what? Her attraction. I can get this man to do anything I want. You think he's the king. But indirectly, with what I have, my attributes, his power is my power. Go down in a dungeon, grab John, and I want to see his head on a platter. Read.
And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison.
And he went and beheaded John in the prison. Now just imagine the disciples go back and report this to his cousin, the Messiah. That's full power. That's full power. I'm going to tell you. I'm talking about just in Babylon. Right? Let's just deal with it from a Babylon angle, regardless of race. By ratio, is there more Herodias' daughters or Esther's in Babylon? Huh? Which one would you say by a show of hands there's more in ratio? Herodias' daughters or Esther? And we're showing this because this is what we're up against. The kingdom is for a few. And the Babylonian influence makes it where automatically if you try to condemn that spirit that would kill the prophets, that automatically there's a defense and a wall will go up. And say, you're attacking me. You're attacking women. No, we're not attacking women. We are against Jezebel. So is God. So is Christ, because she's dangerous. Because when someone go to her and try to correct her or give some insight to her, she'll play on your emotions. She'll break down and cry and say, well, no, I was abused. I was this and I was that. And soon as you like, oh, well, listen, you don't got to worry about it. It's okay. You can talk to me about it. And then she'll be smiling while you're sympathizing and saying, hey, you can rub my back and think what I told you is true, but you're next. So before we go into Esther, let me tell you, there's one thing that we never even talked about in the story, and I read this and I said, you know what? I don't know why I didn't focus on the reason the king chose Esther from the beginning. He was married. And on the screen, thank you. You got it? Okay. All right, let me move this here. All right. Check. All right, we good there. And let me go here. Check. Let me take this one down some here. That's double. All right, we good. All right, thank you. Thank you. Right? Going back. Rarely do we discuss or go into the beginning of this story about Sister Esther. When you go into the catacombs over in Iran or Persia, right? There's a woman the king was initially married to. Her name was Vashti. It's sort of like an East Indian name today. We were all in these different provinces. These were the 10 tribes that went to those areas. Why did the king replace her with the beautiful, humble Sister Esther? He was first with Vashti, right? And then he got rid of her for some reason. I'm going to go into it. And he ended up with Sister Esther from the family of prophets. All right? So we're going to talk about it. And I showed the example of John the Baptist and what happened with him through his death. The Bible. Some old party, right? Some old party going on. And through this party, this girl said, he said, give me anything you want. You looking so nice right now. Anything? And you can't, the king ain't going to be showed up in front of all of his people. High-ranking officials there. So anything he say is law. He can't go back on his word. Or that shows the weakness of the king. She says, you sure anything? Anything, girl. Anything. Now, he thought she was going to ask for some riches, probably a white mare or something, a Persian horse from another place, or jewels, or whatever the case is. So when she asked for John head on a platter, he's like, I know we're going to have a little rumblings amongst the Jews with this, but I put my word out there. Boom. He called one of the arm bearers over and bring me his head. Bring her his head. That's power. Just by a show of hands, how many women out there in the audience, how many of you always have known that power exists in women, that y'all can get people beat up? Raise your hand. How many times you see on the video, you wait right there. And got our cousins and uncles, he's sitting there eating chips. Now don't know what he's about to be, enthralled in. He have no idea. He's sitting there just relaxing. And she's getting up. She come on the phone. He's like, yeah, hello? No, get off me. Get off me. That's what he's hearing in the background. I'm going to tell you right now, June coming right around the corner. Hey, where are you? Next thing you know, it's turned up. Women know. They're trying to act like they don't know they have this power. And the power is good if it's used for the right things. And a woman or anyone with power, man or woman, understand how to will the power without abusing people. Right? And don't forget, this is from experience here. Okay, in my household, there was 4 boys and 1 girl. My sister. And the majority of fights any of our brothers can tell you we were in was because of her. I'm going to tell you that right now. Not that, some of it was justified. You hit my sister, you did it, my sister come in crying, some people do whatever. We were told, because we would either go fight the people who were harming our only sister, or we knew that we would have to fight our father. So she understood, like, man, I got a house full of mercenaries up in here. I can do whatever I want. And know that I got 4 brothers that'll stand in front of the gap. That's power. Right? So let's talk about this Vashti, if you will, real quick, Elder Lawyer. Let's go into Vashti real quick. The queen that was in position. There's a moral of her in the catacombs in the church over in Persia till this day of this Queen Vashti. Not only was she beautiful, arrogant, okay? Not just arrogant, conceited. An abuser of power. Right? So let's talk about it. If you will, Elder Lawyer, let's go to the book of Esther. We're going to go right through. Hold on, let me grab it here. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me do it this way. Let's go directly to the book of Esther, the first verse. And for those who are fairly new out there, here's the reason why you need the Apocrypha also. Because without the Apocrypha, you don't have what? The rest of Esther, which is in the Apocrypha. Okay? After a few verses are gone, 5 verses in the 10th chapter, it just disappears. And you don't, like, where's the rest of the verses? Well, you must go to the rest of the chapters of the book of Esther in the book of the Apocrypha, or you don't even have a complete book of Esther. So anyone that will tell you that you shouldn't read the book of Esther or the books in the Apocrypha are of the devil. They don't want you in the book because they're hiding something. That's why they don't want you. They'll try to claim, well, the book of the Apocrypha isn't spiritually inspired. Okay. So who gives you the authority to tell me what God has inspired? Get out of our face. If you don't want to go into it, that's your business. But don't try to say you have the authority to tell me what to read. They don't want you going into the Apocrypha, brothers and sisters, because they're hiding something. With the Apocrypha, it shows that the 10 tribes in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, came to the Americas before the conquistadors came. Before Rome, before Christopher Columbus, we were here as the lost tribes of Israel. That's why they don't want you in the book. They try to claim, oh, well, it's not spiritually inspired. Christ isn't spoken of in the Apocrypha. Liar. It tell you he's the man that came out of the sea in the Apocrypha. The lion that would judge the eagle, who is the Roman Empire. Before the Roman Empire existed, that prophecy was in the Apocrypha, or the books that would make the Apocrypha. That's why they don't want you in it. They'll tell you in your neighborhoods, don't go into the Apocrypha, but I'll tell you what, they better not tell the Catholics to take the Apocrypha out of their book. These same Jesuit Catholics that's called apologetics, they'll tell us, the lost tribes of Israel, not to read the Apocrypha. But they don't go against the Catholics who have the Bible with the Apocrypha in it. They're trying to keep the knowledge from you. Because with the Apocrypha, with the books, it breaks what? That spell they have on you through the false Christian doctrine. So let's go into it, Elder. Esther, the first chapter. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. Esther 1, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, this is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 127 provinces, that in those days when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his provinces and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces, being before him. And when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 180 days. And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the palace, both unto great and small, 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace. Verse 6, where were white and green and blue hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen and purple, to silver rings and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver upon a pavement of red and blue and white and black and marble. And they gave them drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse one from another, the royal wine in abundance, according to the state of the king. And the drinking was according to the law, none did compel, for so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure. Also Vashti the queen made a feast for the women in the royal house which belonged to King Ahasuerus.
So here it is. She had full power too. All the women had a feast at the same time, right? In his house. So she had power and could give these great galas and everything as an extension of her husband's power. Right? Now, the only thing that he asked in return is what? Respect. Okay? You're beautiful, but you're going to honor the power that gives you power through extension. There's order there. Let's read the 10th verse.
Yes, sir. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Biztha, Harbonah, Bigtha, Abagtha, Zethar, and Karsis, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of King Ahasuerus, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal to show the people and the princes her beauty.
So he said, listen, he sent some people, the women that was around the chamber, and say, listen, go get Vashti for me real quick. Because everyone from all these different areas outside the kingdom have only heard of her beauty. Right? So it wasn't like we have with the technology today and all of that. You can hear about something in someone's greatness or majesty. He says, listen, a lot of people like, yo, king, where's your wife? Right? They heard about her beauty, so he's trying to give us some respect and say, listen, go bring my wife. And I'm going to show everybody what, what they've been speaking about for years for those who haven't witnessed her beauty. So this was a respectful thing, right? So check out Vashti. Now, she got her own party going on at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. As an extension of the power she got from him. Check out Vashti now.
Yes, sir, verse 12.
You're going to tell she's feeling herself. It says, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and the princess her beauty, for what?
For she was fair to look on.
Because she was a good-looking woman. She was. Right? Some would say, I'm going to get in trouble for this one. Some would say that she was the prize. That she was the prize. Well, she was a prize for him. The fact that he wanted to show her off to everybody else, hey, look, hey, now this is a woman. But at the end of this story, you're going to realize something. Power is given through extension from a man, which by default makes who the prize? Listen, everything quiet, right? You can hear a church mouse pee on cotton right now. Because Vashti thought she had it going on. Right? So check out the story real quick, folks. I want to be respectful for time so we can eat and to get y'all on the road, but I need y'all to really be able to take this in. Vashti had everything at her fingertips. Powerful man. A man that ruled many, many provinces. Okay? A man with majesty. And through extension, all the women wanted Vashti's position. All the women wanted it. Right? Read.
But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment.
12 verse tell you now she's feeling herself. And you know all her girlfriends were around. It tell you that she was on the queen's side with all the women. He's wrapped around my finger. No sooner they say, oh, the king wants you out there real quick. Just put on something nice. And he's like, She's like, just tell him I'll be there in a minute. Listen, why you bother me? You know I'm doing something. Why everything got to be about you? Right? You having your thing over there, I'm having my thing over here. Just go ahead with one of your concubines or something. Leave me alone. So that's what she was on. She was on some feeling herself. But the Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Read.
Therefore the king was very wroth, and his anger burned in him.
Because now she's showing him up in front of all of these powerful magistrates, people of power and recognition. And if she don't respect and honor his power, why should they? So things will come into question. Who's really running this kingdom? She picked the wrong time to show up her, because they probably had disagreements before. But when it's before the people, there's an honor and respect that's due. The king was wroth, and his anger burned him, because he probably sent them back a few times. Right? And she's showing them up the whole time. In front of the women. Also, the chamberlains that went to get her, she's showing off in front of them, and all the women now that are checking out her beauty and her riches and all that, and by extension, it's just honoring the fact that she has the king wrapped around her finger. He'll be all right. He'll be okay. Yeah, I'll see him tomorrow. And the girls, they were laughing and joking with him while they were drinking wine. Right? So let's see how the king does in return. Yes, sir. Let's read it.
Then the king said to the wise men which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. And next unto him was Karshana, Sethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Morez, Marsana, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law? But she have not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen, have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes.
She disrespected all of us. Read.
And to all the people that are in the provinces of King Ahasuerus.
And all the people he ruled over. Right? Because the example of power is shown through the leadership. So if the queen can do this to her man, then all the women can disrespect their husbands in the kingdom. And then what? If they're disrespect to that level, the kingdom would cease to exist. Because who will pick up that disrespect next? The children. Where the children feel it's okay to disrespect the men in the home. Because mom allows it. See? See how it works? And eventually the kingdom would crumble in on itself. 17.
For this deed
Hold
of...
on, let me get 17 real quick.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Hold on. Esther 1. Hold on. Esther 1. How did that happen? What happened here?
Which Bible are you using? Using the KJV?
Yeah.
Change it. Yeah. Just regular KJV. Try that.
Right here? I did that already. Hold on. Okay. 1 second, folks. Something went awry here. Oh, Bible, that's why.
Yes, sir.
The why that, Elder.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me get back to the book of Esther. One second. I hit the wrong thing here. Right here?
Yes, sir.
What verse did you leave off of here?
17.
1 verse 17. Thank you, Elder.
Yes, sir.
1 verse 17. Read that.
For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women.
See that? For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women. And what?
So that they shall despise their husbands.
See how it works? Now that's giving the women in the kingdom the license to disrespect their men. Now imagine having strangers coming from other countries to witness this. It's a sign of weakness. And if they're seeking to destroy the kingdom, it's ripe for the destruction because what? There's no solidarity between the families in the kingdom. Because these are the families that make up the kingdom. These are the families through patriotism where the man is willing to die in his honor for that country. Why? Because he has honor in his home. You see how that extends throughout the whole empire? So he had to make an example of her. He loved her, but he had to make an example because he says, listen, this disrespect before everyone is showing forth weakness. And they will do what the king does. And if the king is disrespected by his woman, the women, because all the women were where she was laughing. She done gave them license to go home and disrespect their husbands. See? For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their own husbands. Read.
In their eyes. When it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not.
And she still refused. 18.
Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard the deed of the queen, thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes.
And guess what? That's in decree in Iran till this day. To let you know how true the Bible stories are. I have an actual picture of, well, it's really a church mural made in stone of Vashti's beauty. And it's still there in Iran till this day. Archaeological facts that these stories of the Bible are exact and true. Okay, and it chronologized certain events in history when it comes to our people. 19.
If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
Lord. They wrote it into law. Oh, she don't want to come to the king who have given her power as his extension. Let it be written into law that she's kicked out so that someone better can appreciate what the king has to offer. That's cold. And you know, when she heard this, she started running. Oh, no, baby. You know, I was playing with you. No. Go back to where you were. It's all good. You're feeling yourself, Vashti. Oh, you thought that no one could replace you. Right? You thought you were so beautiful and all this, and all these men lust after you. Hey, if you don't want me, somebody else will. And started feeling yourself. Right? But all of that honor that you have is what? Is as an extension through your man. Don't you know you've weakened me before everyone? She don't even realize that if he would have kept her, that would have depleted the rest of whatever power he had left. Showing a what? An example of disrespect before his peers. He says, no, you can stay right there. But the Most High had a plan. Because if you thought Vashti looked like something, the Most High was playing chess here. He was moving somebody in position that would have the humble spirit who honor and respect the Most High, and through that extension will show that same honor to her man. A woman that what? That strengthens his power. Instead of seeking to deplete or disrespect it. 20.
And with the king's decree, which he shall make, be published throughout all his empire, for it is great. All the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. And the king pleased, and the same pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan.
Come on.
For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people.
He made a decree, because so many people seen the example of this disrespect. Now, not only am I going to replace her, there's a decree that men should not be disrespected in their homes by their women. It's a sign of weakness for our nation. Now you see why the media publishes the dishonorable or the disrespectful amongst us, as if good, honorable women doesn't exist amongst us. That's why they publish it publicly out there, so that they can show the world how weak America, the strong America, has become. Look, they got men dressing like women in their army. They got women showing out and disrespecting men publicly. And other strong nations who have always hated America is witnessing this. Now you see why, even though it seems like a small instance with one relationship, you see how dangerous that dynamic can become? Because it shows, let me tell you, a nation is only an extension of the families it's made out of. See? A lot of people don't know this. That's what a nation is, okay? The nation of Israel started with a man and a woman, okay? Jacob, Rachel, Leah. A nation is only as strong as the families within that nation. Right? It's only as strong as the families within it. Right? So now, let's go back to the Bible real quick. Now, Elder Lawyer, read. So he made a decree and wrote it out for all the provinces. who witnessed this disrespect. 21.
21. And the same pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people.
And he wrote it in every language to do what? Keep your house in order and keep your woman in order. Because others are going to see this as a sign of weakness. Right? Now, in America, it's called something else. In America, this decree would be what? Abuse. They'll call that abuse. Well, what type of abuse? Well, it's an emotional abuse. Huh? What's emotional abuse? You're not letting me do what I want to do. I'm a person too. Yeah, you can do that, but you can't do that with a husband. You can't have it both ways. You can't have a husband and say and do what you want to do. Okay? It doesn't work that way. You can be free to do what you want to do. But you can't have a free life and do and say what you want to do under the guidance and protection of a husband. I mean, they got this thing twisted. Read the second chapter.
Chapter 2, verse 1. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and what was decreed against her. Then the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
So here it is. He's feeling a certain type of way. So they came together and said, listen, it's time for us to find the most beautiful virgins within the kingdom. I believe this is where they got some of the story of Cinderella and stuff from. Right? Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king. Let's go find him a woman that will make him forget about this disrespectful Vashti. And Vashti had it going on. I'm going to tell you that. Her beauty was pronounced, okay, throughout all of the kingdoms. Right? So they say, listen, this dude, he's feeling he ain't getting out of bed. He's all upset. Let's go find him a young virgin. Let's find the best women out there. Now, this is where the Most High kicks in at. Knowing what's going to happen with Haman the Agagite, who's going to be appointed in the kingdom. So the Most High is moving a disrespectful person out of the way and bringing someone in there who will take that power to be used to help God's people. Read.
And let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the palace, the house of the women, unto the custody of Haggai, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things for purification be given them, and let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti. And the thing pleased the king, and he did so. Now in Shushan the palace there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai,
an Israelite,
the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite.
A Benjamite. Right? So we know that Benjamin also, some tribe of Judah, and Benjamin went into these areas. Okay? Even till this day, Timothy, one of the Israelites, one of the disciples of Christ, is buried in India, which is part of this province that extended from Iran all the way into the southern parts of India. The Benjamite, read,
who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter.
His uncle's daughter, he raised her in the admonition of the Almighty. Read.
For she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter.
So she was raised by a prophet. Extremely beautiful. Extremely beautiful. See, Vashti thought she had it going on. This man is eating out of my hands. I'll go when I want to go. He'll never deny me. Okay, I'm the one he wants, and there's no other woman in comparison. But the Most High had somebody else in the cut. Right? And not only that, she was raised to respect men. Raised by a prophet of the Almighty. That did what? That allowed her to balance things with wisdom. To understand it's not just your outward aesthetics. So that gave her some type of leveling to understand, yeah, you're powerful with your aesthetics. But wisdom is the beauty above all. That's within through the Holy Spirit. And she understood this, which made her even more aesthetically beautiful. Not only was she beautiful, she was humble. The finest woman in all of these provinces. And guess what? If this woman was living today, right, she wouldn't use her aesthetics to be called a baddie. A new word my son told me about. Whatever that is. That doesn't sound good at all. I mean, from the door, if they tell you they are a baddie, what are you sticking around for? B-A-D. Run. So, yeah, she reached out to me the other day, Dad. Yeah, and you know, she's a baddie. I'm like, boy, you need to come to my house even more often now. Okay, I know you're working. We have to get you a goodie. Okay? Not a baddie. See, Esther was a goodie. Okay? Father and mother were dead, and she was raised by a prophet by the name of Mordecai. A lot of people don't even really, and I'm surprised I never dove into this story this in depth in past lessons. We went straight to Haman the Agagite without giving you the dynamics of how the Most High moved this woman from a lowly estate to power. And it's women like this that isn't promoted in Babylon and isn't promoted through media. The world hates women like this, but they exist. But what happens is they're shamed into becoming baddies. Because the women that aren't right, they know that they cannot contend against these women who are higher competition. And the only way that they can actually fear in this satanic market is to devalue the virgin. and to soil the virgin so that she don't feel bad about her disrespectful, dishonorable self. Right? Read the 8th verse.
So it came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the women.
Read.
And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him. And he speedily gave her the things for purification, with such things belonged to her, and 7 maidens.
He gave us 7 maidens to serve her. Read.
Which were meet to be given her out of the king's house, and he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the women.
She became the #1 woman in the kingdom. The Most High had her here for this moment. Read.
Esther had not showed her people, nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it.
Don't tell anyone that you're Hebrew right now. Don't let them know you're Israel. Keep it. So it was just her aesthetics, as beautiful as she was good enough to have him say, you know, I'm proposing to her. And Mordecai said, don't initially tell him you're Israel. Read.
And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to show how Esther did, or to know how Esther did,
okay,
and what should become of her.
So he would sometimes go through the courtyards and all that, and she would come out and talk with him. But he was just seeing making sure she was okay. But every time he seen her, she was more decked out. Maidens behind her. She's saying, okay, go get me some water, this, that, and the other. Totally beautiful. And then once they were gone, Mordecai would show up and say, is he treating you good? You all right? And they say, oh my God, I'm so glad to see you. I mean, they treat me nice. You know, she was still humble. So Mordecai continually checked in on her. Read.
Yes, sir.
12.
Verse 12. Now when every maid's turn was come to go up in to King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the women, for so were the days of their purifications accomplished, to wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh, and of 2 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the women.
Come on.
Then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her, to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house.
Now, I need y'all to go ahead and show you that what? Vashti thought that she had it going on. Disrespectful woman. And guess what? This particular legend, or what's in the Bible, is also within Iranian history till this day as an example of how women shouldn't be. Vashti. It's a different legend and a different book altogether concerning this story. And she was replaced for her disrespectful disobedience by a sister. Now, why did the Most High have her here? Have her there at that time? Well, it's the reason we've gathered together tonight. Let's go straight to Let's go straight to the party when Haman the Agagite, which was an Edomite at that time, from the tribe of Esau, Amalek. He was an Amalekite who always sought to circumvent and destroy our people. There's different families of Esau. All families of Esau aren't the same. That's why the Bible says, remember Amalek. Okay? Amalek is the family of what we call the Jewish people today, right? So let's go directly to the story, if you will. Right? Let's go straight to it where there was an Edomite come in position and does what? Seek to destroy our people, not realizing that there's a Hebrew in the midst of everyone. Don't forget, she was told she was told to conceal the fact she was Israel. So these people were talking nasty and all this and talking negative and all that about her people in her presence without them even realizing. Planning things against our people, and the Most High had one of us right there for that moment. Chapter and verse, Elder. Chapter 7, verse 1. Let's read it.
So the king and Haman came to the banquet with Esther the queen. And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, What is thy petition, Queen Esther?
What is thy petition, Queen Esther? Read.
And it shall be granted thee.
It shall be granted thee. Now you see how this is in contrast to a story we read later of a woman in power during the time of Herod who wanted John the Baptist's head on the plate. Women are powerful and they know it. They know it. But you're not supposed to reveal that or say that, or you're a misogynist. You're supposed to allow that power to go on unrecognized, so not to understand the threat it can become if it's used wrong. See? So there was a petition before the king, and King Esther said, what?
What is thy
And
petition?
so here's another party where the king is saying, baby, you can have anything you want. Read.
What is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed even to the half of the kingdom.
Read.
Then Esther the queen answered and said, If I found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request.
Read.
For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed.
So Haman conspired and paid mercenaries to kill off our people in every province. Similar to how when America shut down or the world shut down and they said that our people should be the preferred people first to get the jabby jab. See? A petition through the law that would target and depopulate a certain people without disturbing its citizenry. Get them out of the way and replace them was the decree. See, Christians don't want to read the Old Testament. That's why the Jesuits tell them, don't read the Old Testament, because you're going to find out the same thing that the policies they do against us. In America and in the world today, every place our people reside are the same policies we read concerning these kings who are trying to depopulate and or kill us. So Haman say, listen, these Israelites don't want to sacrifice to our God and don't want to follow our holy days. Kill them already, and had a decree to do so. And if it wasn't for the Most High putting this humble woman in this place, we would have been totally destroyed in Iran at that time. For we are sold, and my people to be destroyed. It's decreed. Read.
To be slain and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage.
Read.
Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, Who is he?
Who do you want me to deal with? Not only did she heal the pain of this man losing his wife that disrespected him because he loved Vashti. He never thought that he could love on the level that he loved this sister, Esther. At that point, when he got this woman, he realized when he got Esther, he realized how much he was being disrespected through his whole relationship. This is how a marriage should be. He had to be with someone different to find out what he was missing. He's like, this is the place of my peace. Anything you want. Because if I can extend my power, my glory, my riches as an extension to you, the least you can do is respect and honor me. He says, listen, there's somebody giving you some trouble in here? Who? Who's messing with your people? Who is he? Now, you know, if he can get his wife up out of the paint, you know what's going to happen to this guy. Right? Who is he? Who disrespect you, baby? You know, this was probably pillow talk, too. Who? Come on, I don't want to deal with it right now. No, baby, hold up. You know, he done flicked and put a candle on real quick. Flick. What's going on, baby? Who? Somebody here disrespecting you? Who is he? And then he said this. What?
Who is he and where is he?
And where is he? Read.
That durst presume in his heart to do so.
Read.
And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman.
It's this Amalekite you put in your office who have decreed to kill all my people. The Most High concealed her to a point where he realized that, guess what? I cannot live without this woman. And guess what? If you do something to this woman or this woman's people, you're doing it to me. Then Haman what?
Then Haman was afraid before the king.
And then what happened?
And the queen. And the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make requests for his life to Esther the queen.
No. Now he's going to the sister now. You know I really didn't mean this. I mean, can't we work this out? You know, the sister, and when sister got that stare on her, right? She didn't blink, totally stoic. Come on, Esther. Just give me pardon one time. I promise I'll leave, and me and my sons, and you'll never see our faces again. Just talk to the king for me. Full power. Not just power over the women that's under her. Through extension, she has power over men. You got a man here groveling. Esther, you know I was just playing. For he saw what?
For he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king.
The king moved over, and everybody next to Haman moved over to the king's side with him. Haman was just sitting there shook. Read.
Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
Go ahead. So they gagged him. Okay, now what?
In Harbonah, one of the chamberlains said before the king, behold also, the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai.
He planned to kill Esther's uncle, father by extension, because he wouldn't bow to the idols in Persia. Don't you know that that's the adopted father of the queen? Look how the Most High set this up. If this system wasn't put in place, he would have got us all killed. He had gallows set up everywhere to kill our people. And he says, you know what? The gallows that you set up to kill the prophets, guess what? The whole time, Haman's men were setting up the gallows for themselves. Read.
And Harbonah, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold also, the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon.
Hanging. Free God's people. Hang the Amalekite. Read.
So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified.
And at that point, he was satisfied. Long will we remember Sister Esther, a daughter of Zion. Now, let's go into the gifts and why we celebrate this as a memorial each year.
Yes, sir. Chapter 8, verse 1.
Let's read it.
On that day did King Ahasuerus give the house of Haman, the Jews' enemy, unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her. And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman. And Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite, and his device that he had devised against the Jews.
Come on.
Then the king held out his golden scepter toward Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king, and said, if it please the king, and if I found favor in his sight, that the thing seem right before the eyes, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in all the king's provinces.
Come on.
For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people, or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred?
Come on.
Then the king Ahasuerus said unto Esther the queen, and to Mordecai the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him that have hanged, him have they hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews. All right, jumping down. 9 and 18.
9 and 18. Why 9 and 18, the celebration? Let's read.
But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof,
Like we're doing.
and on the 14th thereof,
Like we're doing.
and on the 15th of the same day, they rested and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
Feasting and gladness. That's why we're here for the memorial. And we have the food ready for those who would like to eat.
Therefore the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month Adar a day of
A
gladness
day of gladness.
and feasting, and a good day, and a sending of portions one to another.
And the sending of portions one to another. That's where we get what? The tradition of gift giving amongst the Jews, the Israelites. Okay? So again, if there's a tradition you would like to continue with your children to not be left out, you can let them know. We have something better than Christmas with a story attached to God's people. Long live the memory of Sister Esther. And I thank you all. Please feast. Have a good time. Thank you. And let me put this on the record. We love women like this, okay? And there's many women like this within the gathering of Christ Church. Thank you. Okay. And last but not least, to H-E double hockey sticks. To H-E-double-L to H-E-double-L to Jezebel. Shalom. With that, we're going to turn it over to Bishop Amath and enjoy the feast.
Let's get the Most High hand clap one more time. Let's give it up for our Lord and Savior, Yeshua. Let's give it up for the Most High, Ahia. Yes, sir.
I want to tell you all that a new academy, that's right, the war of the gods, the theme this coming Sunday, and I hope you all involved in being it. We're going to drop the beginning of all things. We're going to drop also the second week, the ranking of angels, when it comes to the angels and the heavenly angels and what they're all about. And we're going to go into the 24 elders and the hierarchy up there and the hell that came down here. We're just going to deal with the whole spiritual realm this academy second week. I also want to announce that we're going to also, brothers and sisters, be going into the lost books, and we're going to focus in particular on these particular books, the Testament of Solomon and the Apocalypse of Paul, this academy. There's a lot of other lessons we'll be going into, but none of this would be possible without you all, and we're doing some great things because of your support. And when it all falls down, we'll have the resources to help sustain the people who have always supported this church, if it be the Most High's will. So you're putting into something that will actually help all of us when there's nothing left. When the mark of the beast is on the scene, we're going to need resources, and we're already pivoted. So continue to help the work. Join the Hebrew Bible Academy. Go to historytimes.org to enroll. Thank you.
Yes. And it's going to be slamming. Right? So we're going into the portion of the feast. We're not going to delay because we know there's some weather. So we're going to get to this food. Right? So we're going to put on some comfortable music. I'm going to say a prayer and we're going to eat. We got a couple gifts for the children. And we got some things for the elders. Right? And like this says, we're going to send portions one to another. Bless the family out there. Bless all those that are attending here and at home. May the Most High bless your feast of Purim.
Enjoy your food.
Shalom. All praises. If you could, Gilbert, you put on some soft music. Yes, sir. All right, we're going to say a prayer, brothers and sisters. So women, cover your heads. Men, uncover your heads. Heavenly Father, bless this food. Bless the hands that prepared it. In the name of our Lord and Savior, Yeshua HaMashiach, may this food nourish our bodies. Amen. All praises. I got some lamb there. I roasted that thing for 8